All right, let's just try this again. Hello, I'm Steven. Just aiming to do a health update, perhaps brief, but I didn't write notes or script, so I'll kind of do this briefly. So through this whole process, everything that's sort of going to be a test or another doctor or another scan or like each time, like the outcome or results were not the best, and I guess the worst. A lot of times it's an A or a B. Like, let's send you for this and rule out. Well, okay, it didn't rule it out. It, approved it. Let's do a colonoscopy, and actually we couldn't complete it because there's a problem. And then there's a pretty good chance that it's cancer. Well, okay, it is. Well, don't worry too much about it. There's a lot of different stages. Well, actually, your cancer's in a couple of places. And then, and actually it's stage 4, and et cetera, that kind of stuff. Even to when I had the doctor's appointment with the medical oncologist, who I guess is the term for the chemotherapy doctor, if that's fair. Even that was like, well, of all the choices of the particular drugs that you're going to get, like, you're getting a very inconvenient one, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that I get, I don't know if it's called a high dose or whatever, but like I'll end up with that. So anyway, every step of the way has been that. And anyway, that's where I am. I don't remember, I think last time I left off, I hadn't met any of the oncologists. I had just done the MRI, the 2 CAT scans, the 2, I don't know what they're called, but the colonoscopy doctors, my regular APRN, my regular doctor, and had spoken like telehealth wise. So I had a consultation with the colorectal surgeon, who then sent me for sort of other scans and things like that. Okay, so I went to, today is Thursday, and that's the 27th of October. So I went on Sunday for a COVID test, before, my next visit, which I'll tell you about in a moment. That visit was on Wednesday morning, yesterday morning. Oh no, so before that, I met the medical oncologist, which would have been the week before. I just don't remember. That was the October 14th. I just don't remember if I included that in the update or not. I think I did. I just don't remember. But anyway, I met her, and she wants to start chemotherapy. Sorry, this is all over the place. So she wants to start chemotherapy, and she's pretty sure surgery is going to happen. But she's also very sure that even if surgery happens, the chemo will start first. So she's kind of put that into process. That led me to the COVID test this last Sunday. And I met her team, and it was really, really great. So it's very, very, very excellent. That's Dr. Stein, who I think will be kind of 3-ring circusing this a little bit, I guess. They're orchestrating the whole thing. I'm not really clear on that part. But at any rate, she said, we don't know everything yet because you still, you have to meet the other doctors. And anyway, Hadan Patel, the doctor who's the colorectal surgeon, wanted to present my case at the tumor board review. And I don't still know if that's happened or not, but that was among the things that, left Dr. Stein saying, I don't know exactly how this shapes up, but I'm pretty sure the chemo is going to be happening. And in fact, we're going to start it October 31st. Okay. And I think it's every 2 weeks. And then it's sort of like a 2 days worth of infusion for me, starting on the first day as, I guess, 4 or 5 hours that I'm there, or something like that. And then for the next couple of days, I continue to get it with a sort of mobile infusion situation. That's what I think. And I think it's 2 weeks. I don't really know for how long, a dozen weeks, 10 weeks, 20 weeks. I don't know. I'm not clear. But anyway, in order to do that, they have to go to, I think, your superior vena cava or through the jugular, something like that, to put a access point, which they call a port, up here. So that's I guess it's a surgical procedure, and that's why I needed the COVID. So anyway, I did the COVID Sunday. And Sunday, by the way, a lot of people were here to help out, so I'm super grateful for that. People were dropping off soup and painting and putting pictures up on the wall in the studio. Still have a little bit of art to sell. I'm really needing to sell it to raise money, but also been giving stuff away and got a lot painted. I'm super grateful. People have sent cards and texted and all that. So while I'm on the topic, I haven't really replied to just about anybody on any of that because it's not my focus. My focus is on preparing for death, and that's my focus. Meanwhile, just doing what my doctors need. So anyway, did the COVID test. Then yesterday morning, did the surgery procedure. They weren't able to sedate me the way I guess they normally would, so that was its own adventure. But I was really happy with the doctors and the I want to say nursing staff, but I don't really know what the credentials are of the other people, but the supporting staff. It was just quite an enjoyable morning, but long, got up early and, canceled classes and things like that. Went there and did that. That was in Old Saybrook. Then I had to go to North Haven, which is where the chemotherapy will be, to actually meet finally the last person, as far as I know, that I'm supposed to be meeting, who is I think a liver oncologist or an oncologist specializing in liver, because I don't know if they call it a tumor, if that's the right word, but the mass, the lesion, or whatever, has spread to the liver. And so this guy is gonna, I expect, and he expects, is gonna be involved in removing that. And so what I learned is that if the chemo shrinks the tumors, I guess, or too much before the surgeon gets in, then they don't have a clear enough idea of what they're going for. It's harder to see. So I think there's this balance of we'd like to shrink it, and I'll talk about why in a moment, and then get it before it's too small that it's harder for them to do their job. So I guess there's a bit of a balance there. And that was confirmed to me by the surgeon yesterday, Dr. Billingsley, who turns out to be a neighbor of mine here in town. So he's the liver surgeon, liver oncologist, perhaps. I don't know what the term is, hepatic oncology, or I don't know. He said that where I have the, let's say, mass, I don't really know the term, but the issue, the cancer, is at the top of the liver. And I think he described it as 3 different blood vessels there. I think he said all veins, but 3 blood vessels there. Okay, so he said essentially that they like to deal with this kind of stuff aggressively, meaning the colon part, and in fact the liver part. And then he said that's the end of the good news. The bad news is that yours is kind of up there where the veins are, or maybe arteries, but I think veins. And so that's like, that's a little iffy. So he said, like, what's important to him is that we start shrinking it through the chemotherapy, which means, we're not going to move the veins, but if we move the scale of the mass, it kind of shrinks away from the veins, which I guess, I don't know, makes him more confident, maybe makes him more actually able to do it, or just increases the success or reduces the downsides or the likelihood of them. So basically, that's the plan. And I asked him, I said, I guess that means that you do the chemo for a bit and then the image to actually see like what has been the effect, and then you have enough information to judge a schedule. And he says, exactly, that's what we're going to do. He said he expected it to be something like 4 sessions. And if I think what I'm seeing is they're every 2 weeks is what it looks like. So that would mean 2 months. And then, at the end of our consultation. He said, yeah, I'll plan to see you in 2 months, and we should have all we need then to, schedule a surgery. In addition, he said, he was leaning towards doing the surgery that he wants to do at the same time as Dr. Patel would be doing the surgery on the resection of the portion of the colon. He said, we don't know yet, but right now he's leaning towards it, basically because I'm so healthy and young, I guess so healthy. I guess because I have been so healthy and have been so young. But he said that seems like the best bet, but we're not promising yet, and we'll just see how it goes. So I started this by saying everything has just been the worst news or bad news, or the negative result when you want a positive, and the positive result when you want a negative on every testing, everything that's happened. But during that meeting with the liver surgeon, he said, this is definitely the kind of thing that we expect to see cured. And that was the first time anybody had used the word cured or cure with me. So I thought that would be news that you all might want to hear. But who knows? I didn't get any odds or any of that. Again, I think all of this changes in a moment if, I end up with a blockage in my colon, and then it's emergency room. And then I imagine it's more of an emergency surgery, but they're aware of what's already going on. So I assume they take out what they can and that sort of thing. I got this on the side that I wanted it on. So that was a win yesterday as well, which that was some really fun push hands in there. So I just want to thank everybody. People have been dropping off eggs and soup and taking some of my stuff to sell, or buying some stuff, or giving stuff away, coming by to ship things I need to get out. A couple of people sent in some stuffed animals, which is really wonderful and special, and some cards, but I haven't even gotten to them. If you're taking it personally, it's not me trying to get you to take it personally. I'm just trying to focus on what I need to do. And this is just on because, there's 2 incisions to put the port in, and one is, I haven't examined it. So let's say near some of the muscles that are important to me on the neck. I can't tell you precisely yet. Anyway, I just kind of noticed kind of yawning and turning and chewing. I can kind of feel that. And I was like, I'd rather put this on just to minimize the movement. So I haven't had it on all day, but on the way home I stopped and got this. So I didn't hurt my neck in addition to all this. I'm just trying to care for this. So this is basically going to be wound care for 3 days or something. And then on the 31st, I go in. That's probably when I'll start needing rides from people on the way back from North Haven or bringing me to North Haven. It looks like I'll slowly shift my schedule from Mondays to Wednesdays. So I think I go in once on a Monday, then once on a Tuesday, and then the 3rd session, I think, which would be like 6 weeks later, would be a Wednesday, with the plan that I would then go in on Wednesday. So that's starting October 31st. That's the plan. And I've enrolled in a couple studies too through Yale to help other people with all this in terms of tissue and blood and urine and sweat samples and all the rest. I do know that Dr. Stein took blood work to do genetic tests to see sort of which way I go with which chemotherapy drugs. I saw something come up in my app. It looked like the results were there, but I don't know that I can understand them. So I have to read them a couple times, I think. And either way, I think it's really just for her. And she'll say, hey, it turns out you have this genetic variation and therefore we can do these drugs, or you don't, so we're going to do something like that. I think it won't really change anything for me. I just still go in at the same time and they pump something in me. It's just a slightly different something based on the results. Anyway, I think that's where I am. Introduce you to Clefferbear from BHS. Ms. R sent me Clefferbear to keep well, and he came in a box and wants to wish everybody well, and he's been through it. He knows all about Smilo and is a well-worn and even more well-loved sweetie bear. And I just need to get a piano to sit him on so that he can feel at home, because I do not have a piano here. I'm not asking for a piano. Just soup and eggs. That would be good. Maybe some sausage. I'll eat some sausage. I'll eat some soup. I'll eat some eggs. Kefir. Been eating kefir, and that's about it. Okay, so I'm gonna get this posted. Thank you for all the support and the love. I am planning to read into the public what I believe, the pair piece that goes with what I've learned, but I don't know if I'm going to do it with an audience or not, but that's something to pay attention to. Really a great help seeing people join in on Patreon, because just financially that's going to make all the difference in the world to me as I go through this. And if that's not what you can do, just watching a bunch of my videos on YouTube, to increase the number of hours that I've been watched will help. Subscribing, obviously, on YouTube doesn't cost anything. Liking a few videos, commenting, sharing them, that sort of thing. You can also visit me on buymeacoffee.com, but just check somedayfarm.org and you'll be able to see all my links and stuff. And if you want a piece of poetry, it still hangs in Cromwell, still hangs in Meriden, and there's exactly one piece left here. And I think that's it. So love, and we'll see if I can keep teaching all the way through this with very little change. So see you Wednesday night for meditation class, 6:30 p.m. Bye. Thank you.